On these simplify questions, it's very open-ended. And what that means is you're free to do whatever you want. But the goal is to break it down and have some stuff cancel, or have the problem whittled down to something that's either like a 0 or a 1 or a cosine or something simple. Okay, so you have to know what things are and make some changes. One thing you can always do is you can always change everything to sines and cosines. Might not always work, but that's something you can do. So in this case, if I do that, like you saw yesterday, tangent is sine over cosine. Cosecant is 1 over sine. This is all on your Courtney Pierce. Secant is 1 over cosine. So if I make all those changes, let me change the secant right now, since I told you I was going to. If I change everything to sine and cosine, that's what it looks like. Now, also to do these, you have to have knowledge of grade school math. Okay, and in grade school math, you learn to do things like this. And what you learned was the 4's would cancel, and that's 3/7. Okay? Well, it doesn't matter if it's a number or a trig function, the same rule applies. So in this case, the sines cancel. So you get 1 over cosine over 1 over cosine, and that's 1. That's what we talked about yesterday. Okay? If you haven't learned anything over the past 8 years of math, then this is going to be a real struggle. Okay? But we build up through all these years so we can use the concept of multiplying fractions here. Okay? So let's look at another one. We're going to simplify sine squared plus cosine squared over cosine. And you got to try to think of something to do. Something that sparks a change in the problem. Like you see something and you know that you can change it to something else. Okay? Sine squared plus cosine squared is equal to 1, according to the trig identity. So the top of this fraction, it's on the wall over there in front of Trevor. The top of the fraction is equal to 1. And the bottom we're just going to keep as cosine. And that is equal to secant. Okay, I'll help you with this one. This one has 5 different trigonometric functions, which is ridiculous. It should be against the law to have 5 different trigonometric functions in one problem. It's overwhelming. I don't want 5 different trigonometric functions in my problem. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change everything to sines and cosines. That's what I'm going to do. Okay? Cotangent is the flip of the tangent. What is tangent?
1.
No. What is tangent? It's sine over cosine. So what's the flip of that? Cosine over sine. That's this part. Okay? Sine is sine. What is secant? 1 over cosine. That's the top of the fraction. Tangent, sine over cosine. And cosine is cosine. Now, think about what I said about multiplying fractions. If you see something on the top and the bottom, it can be crossed out. So, what do I see here? I see that. I see that. And I see that. What is not crossed out on top? 1. What is not crossed out on the bottom? Sine. And what does that equal? Cosecant.